Hi everyone, we're so grateful to have you here with us this evening. While people are still joining, I wanted to let you know that our program will officially start in about 5 minutes. For now, you can watch this video that a Cru student made for this year's graduating seniors in Westchester Cru. I'll see you soon.
Seniors!
Hey seniors.
Hey seniors!
What's up, guys?
Hey guys.
When I think about the seniors, I think about the advice they would give to everyone, how encouraging they were, how much they loved the Lord, and lastly, how much fun they were just to be around.
Isaac, thanks for pouring into me and being a great discipler, for being a great brother in Christ, along with Graham and Hoops. In my heart, you're still seniors. Thanks, Paige and Sabrina, for being great mentors to me personally.
Thank you for all the ways that you have shown me how to truly lead and serve Christ in a way that glorifies Him and in just a selfless way.
I remember from the start, Lexi was always there for me. She showed me love and just reached out to me whenever I needed it.
I just wanted to encourage and thank the 5 seniors who are graduating or already have graduated here at 23. You guys have been such amazing brothers to me and loving brothers to me. Your love for Jesus has been so evident and contagious, and it has just sharpened my love for Jesus as well.
Hi, my name is Brittany, and God has really used the ministry of Cru in my life. Before coming to college, I wasn't a Christian, and God used the people in Cru to show me, to tell me that I could have a relationship with God through Christ. And through the help of Bible studies and discipleship and summer missions, I've really grown in my faith and knowledge of who God is and how deep His love is for me. And in fact, I will be interning with Cru next year in the Middle East. So I'm super excited for that and what God will do through that.
Hey guys, it's David Kaup. Cru has been an amazing place for me to grow my relationship with God and make amazing friends. Without Cru, I would have never really gotten serious about my faith, I don't think. So it just goes to show you how impactful Cru can be.
The one thing that sticks out to me about Cru is the community. It's not just a community of other believers, but it's a community of people that genuinely just love each other. I was able to meet my best friends through Cru, and these people challenged me to grow in my relationship with the Lord and encouraged me daily to seek out Jesus and to always just remember the sacrifice that He made for us.
My encouragement to all of you as you pursue walking with the Lord and all of those around you at school is to step out of your comfort zone. Do not stay in this bubble. You are not meant to stay in this bubble. You're meant to cultivate Christian community and then reach your campus. So reach the campus around you. Take steps of faith, of courage, and see how God shows up in your obedience.
My wife and I joined staff in 2016, and so we've gotten to see you guys grow from freshmen to seniors. It's been amazing to see what God's done in your lives. When I think of the phrase, the 4 for the 40, it means that the 4 years you invested in your faith now are going to impact the 40 plus years, the rest of your life. And it's crazy to think about this small investment in college is going to impact you guys as husbands, as wives, as co-workers, and as neighbors for the remainder of your lives.
I just want to celebrate you. I want to remind you that your graduation, your diploma is not small. It is a huge deal, and I want you to feel celebrated. I want you to know that your ministry does not stop here with your peers, but your degree helps you to go reach others in your workplace or wherever you're going. Celebrate yourself, throw yourself a party, you deserve it. This is a huge accomplishment, and I'm so honored to be one of your staff members.
Thank you for being the absolute best and being there for everyone.
I just want to thank you.
I just want to thank all you guys.
Thank you for letting us come alongside you and be a part of it. We love you and are going to miss you a ton.
Welcome everyone. We're so glad to have you here with us. Our aim for this event is simple. It's to remind us all that God is still God, even in the midst of all the chaos in our lives right now. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand." We've all been living on both sides of that reality over the past few months. Our work, school, and vacations, and all the other plans we made have been washed away. But the gospel is still alive and at work in our world. God is unhindered by COVID-19. Even though we're not all together physically, we want to do what we can to interact with one another. The main way we want to do that is through the chat. Would you, right now, type in the chat and let us know who you are and where you're joining us from. I'll start by saying that my name is Edwin Jacks, and I'm talking to you from Westchester, Pennsylvania, where I work as crew staff. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and let us know. For those of you who aren't familiar with Crew, we're all about spreading the hope of Jesus in our world through college campuses. Our vision is that everyone knows someone that truly knows Jesus. To put it another way, our aim is to bring everyone within arm's reach of the gospel. Crew is active on hundreds of college campuses across the U.S. Our local area of Crew spans most of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. From our geography, we send students to locations in the Middle East, East Asia, and the Caribbean. Students who are a part of Crew are involved in Crew Bible studies, discipleship relationships, evangelism, and more. Throughout the year, they're also invited to numerous larger events such as our fall retreats, winter conferences, spring break trips, and summer missions. We've got all 4 seasons covered. All of those things I've just listed, however, have become impossible over the past few months. The coronavirus pandemic has closed the doors of all college campuses and sent Crew students away. But remember that in the face of these challenges, our God is still working just as He always has to fulfill His purposes. With that, I'm going to hand things off to John Brooke, who is the team leader of the 202 Crew team. I'll see you all in a bit.
Thanks so much, Edwin. Like he said, my name's John Rook. This is my wife, Amanda. We're on staff with the 202 movement. We work at Westchester University, Cheyney University, and Eastern Universities. We actually have 5 movements on those 3 campuses. We have Crew, and then we have a ministry toward the African American community called Impact, and international students called Bridges. And man, this year has been absolutely crazy with everything going on. And it's been crazy for our students. It's been crazy for us as staff. I'm sure most of you listening, it's changed your lives a lot. Same thing with our ministry. But we wanted to give you guys an update of what was happening before the pandemic and what has happened through the pandemic and is continuing to happen now. So we hope you're encouraged by tonight.
If I had to choose one word to describe how things were going for our team leading up to March, I'd probably say momentum. We had an overall sense that God was doing something special in our midst. For starters, students were coming to Christ left and right. In all, we saw over 25 students accept Christ this past year. Each of those students got the opportunity to learn what it looks like to follow Jesus, how to read their Bible, or maybe even just how to pray. It's exciting. This year, we also saw God answer our prayer to provide staff to specifically reach the Black communities on our campuses. Our effort to reach those students is called the Impact Movement. This past year, God helped us grow in our ability to reach all communities on our campuses by providing 3 interns for the Impact team. Each of these students received $5,000, nearly a fifth of their support goal, thanks to the money that was given in past years by many of you watching. We also saw a lot of momentum growing on our newer campuses of Eastern and Cheyney Universities. After 4 years at Cheyney, God has provided a group of student leaders for the first time. These students are learning to own the movement themselves and working to make our presence there a sustainable, student-led effort.
Another highlight from the spring semester was that we took 26 students down from Westchester to a spring break trip in Panama City Beach, Florida. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that does not sound like a good idea to take college students down there for spring break, but during this trip, we taught our students how to share the gospel, and we went out on the beach every day and put that to practice. So we had hundreds and hundreds of gospel conversations on the beach, and the Lord not only worked in our own hearts to draw ourselves closer to Him as we engaged with other people who didn't know Him, but the Lord also did amazing things in the students' hearts that we were reaching out to. Now, I would love to send you guys over to Bobby, a student whose life was radically changed this semester for the gospel.
Hi, I'm Bobby, and I'm about to be a senior, and I'm here to tell you how I came to know Christ. So growing up, I went to Catholic school, and I was taught about God, I was taught about the gospel, but by the time I was 15 years old, I had totally outright rejected all of it. I had become an atheist, and that just carried over with me as I went to college. And as I got to college, I realized that I was very unfulfilled, unhappy, and I wanted to figure out what was wrong with me. How do I fill that void in my heart? And that kind of just snowballed into mental illness, depression, anxiety, and that was on and off for the next couple years. And then in sophomore year, I met this guy who invited me out to Cru, and I thought, all right, yeah, I'll come check out Cru. But as I came out, I realized that I didn't like it at all because I saw all these people that were super happy and I was just miserable. So it didn't resonate with me at all. And about 8 months after coming to Cru, after being persistent with it, I accepted Christ into my heart, and he totally transformed my heart. He didn't immediately take my problems away, but day by day he has been just renewing me every single day with the gospel, totally transforming my heart every day. And God humbled me out of my intellectual pride, which was something that kept me away from him. And since then, my life has been really great in knowing Christ.
Thanks so much for sharing that story, Bobby. I love seeing how God is changing your life and the lives of so many other college students. Like I mentioned earlier, our entire ministry was turned on its head in mid-March. I imagine that a lot of the emotions you went through were also the ones that our staff and students went through during that time. What do our work and education look like from a distance? Some of our living situations changed dramatically. How does that work? And for many of us, there are bigger questions of purpose. What do I do now that everything has changed? Let me remind you of the good news that we've seen through this process. We might be asking big questions and living in uncertainty, or maybe even fear, but God is no less in control now than he was in January.
And not only is he continuing to work in spite of the coronavirus, but we have also seen him work through the pandemic. Let me give you just a couple examples of what I mean. So, like I mentioned earlier, our staff is working on 3 campuses primarily, and those campuses run along Route 202. That's why we're called the 202 Cru movement. And our vision for 202 has been from the start that we want all these campuses to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. And something that's difficult during a regular semester is that's really hard to accomplish. So after the virus, we decided to do our weekly meetings, which normally we have 5 for our 5 different movements. We did all those meetings together via Zoom. So this is really cool that all the campuses naturally got to come together online. This was an opportunity that the virus actually presented us and helped us move toward what our original goal for becoming 202 was in the first place. To be honest, a big disappointment of the virus has been losing summer missions. And if you're not familiar with summer missions, Cru offers different travel experiences for thousands of students across the country to go anywhere, stateside or in the world. And these are amazing opportunities for our students to go away for a summer, anywhere from 2 weeks to 10 weeks, and grow in their relationship with the Lord, grow as leaders. We as staff get really excited when students that have gone on summer mission come back to campus because they're always fired up to go after the campus for the gospel in a way that they weren't before they left. So we had a very good amount of students from our different movements lined up to go to summer mission, and we were really excited for them to grow and come back in the fall. So when the virus hit, all summer missions got shut down. Thankfully, Cru worked very quickly to provide really great opportunities online for students to continue to grow in their faith throughout the summer. We have 20 students signed up for Summer Connect, and Summer Connect is something we do weekly. Students from all of our different movements are involved in it, and they hear biblical teaching, and it's a chance for them to dialogue about what they're learning and just connect over the summer to continue to grow in their faith. Something that's really amazing is we have 4 students from Cheney University doing an opportunity that Cru provided called Summer of Theology, where they get to study different aspects of theology with a Cru coach that meets with them. Before the pandemic, we had 0 students from Cheney able to go on summer missions for various reasons. So this virus actually provided an opportunity for those 4 students to engage in a way and grow that they wouldn't have had if this virus didn't happen, which is really cool to think about.
Obviously, we aren't the only place with stories like this. I'm sure you all have similar stories from your own families, churches, and communities of how God is continuing to work, even though many of us have been limited in our ministry. And it's not just in the U.S. The same thing is happening around the world. Here's a quick update from some of the Philly Cru staff who are in the middle of serving 1-year stint in the Middle East when the pandemic started.
Hi, my name is Hannah and I served in the Middle East with Cru this past year. We saw God work in really powerful ways, and praise God, we had 7 students come to accept Jesus by the end of the year. One of these students is named Teresa, and I first met Teresa in October. She was really interested in learning more about Jesus, but she came from a conservative Muslim family. But she met up with us and she studied the Bible, and she even came on our Christmas retreat where she got to read about the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Jesus for the first time. A couple days after the Christmas retreat, though, we got a really scary call from Teresa where she explained that she was having really dark thoughts and was thinking of ending her life. And in this culture, there's an honor-shame paradigm, and it's really shameful to have mental health issues. So my teammate and I raced over to her campus to meet up with her, and we told her that depression is really complex and requires a lot of levels of care, but there was certainly a spiritual aspect of her darkness. She talked about having this hole in her heart that she felt like nothing could fill. So we had the privilege of explaining with her that Jesus could fill this hole in her heart, that he could offer hope and joy and life. And we invited her back to our apartment to spend the night, and she got ready for bed, and I went to say goodnight to her, and she told me the most shocking news, which is that while she was getting ready for bed, she had reached her lowest point, and she cried out to Jesus and surrendered to him, and she heard the voice of God saying, "My daughter, you have found me." And so I was able to rejoice with Teresa. We celebrated with her the next day, and praise God, she has grown in her faith over the last few months, and she's even shared her faith with her Muslim friends. So please join me in praying for Teresa and the 6 other new believers in the Middle East.
I hope you're all as excited as I am after hearing what God is doing in the Middle East. I'm grateful that no one is beyond his reach, even in crazy times like this. And even though our plans for ministry have changed a lot over the past few months, I'm excited when I think about the new direction God is taking us. As the 202 Cru team, we want to lean into the direction that he is leading us and be faithful to follow him no matter what the future holds. And we'd like to invite you to consider joining us in this journey of trusting him as we ride out the wave of COVID, however long that may last. There are a few ways that you can join us in that today. But first, let me explain where I think God is challenging us to grow in this next year. Because there is so much uncertainty about what the next year of school, ignore the squirrels, what the next year of schoolwork will look like for our students, we know that we need to be prepared for what will likely be a mixture of both in-person and digital ministry. First, we are confident that God wants us to continue what he has been leading us to do for years, empowering and partnering with non-white students and organizations. This has been a source of great growth in our effectiveness in recent years as God has blessed our impact movement at Westchester and Cheney and led us to partner with Westchester's Gospel Choir. I would love to make scholarships available for any student who wants to go to this year's Impact Conference in Atlanta, where students learn how to lead a community of Black believers in an authentic, effective way. And also, as I mentioned earlier, our 3 Black interns this year each received $5,000 for the money most of you guys raised at our past events. Unfortunately, this upcoming year, we don't have any impact students who are considering an internship, but I would love to raise money now so that we can offer the same funding to any students next year as an incentive to join our team.
The second area we see God leading us to grow is in leveraging the new digital realities in our ministry to allow us to reach more students on more campuses. First, we'd love to be able to provide a Zoom Pro account for every staff member and student leader. This will be helpful while we're still ministering at a distance, but it will also be a helpful dimension to add to our long-term ministry plan. Our staff team will be smaller next year, and having meetings on Zoom will make it more feasible to maintain good leadership and training on campuses that are more remote, like Cheney and Eastern. I think having these accounts will also make it easier to reach more students through our small group Bible studies. At Westchester, for instance, the campus is split into a north and south section. All of our Bible studies are on the north side of campus, so it's a much bigger commitment for students who live on the south side to attend a Bible study that's either a car ride or a 20-minute walk away. In the same way that your neighbor may be more comfortable checking out your church through a live stream before going in person, I think the barrier for entry is much lower for a student to video call in. We're not sure exactly what that might look like, and we know that remote Bible studies will never be as effective as in-person ones. But we see potential for God to move in big ways. We would also love to be able to purchase physical resources to equip and train our students while they are away from campus.
The last area we're hoping to use to accelerate our ministry is increasing Crew's presence both on campus and on the web. During this pandemic, we've become more aware than ever that we are lacking in our ability to reach and retain more students, whether Christians or not. On top of that, whenever our students do come back to campus, they will be craving the community and direction that Crew can provide for them. Through these things, we see the Lord challenging us to innovate new ways to broaden our reach. That could look like many things. It might mean investing more in social media advertisements, or maybe a redesigned website that is more easily found by students. We're also thinking about going more low-tech, but it's just as effective, by buying 202 Crew t-shirts to give out to any student that come to our meetings, so that every student who walks across campus sees someone saying, "I'm in Crew." It could even open up room for spiritual conversations when students inevitably ask what Crew is. Lastly, we would love to invest more in our large group weekly meetings. Honestly, our meetings are fun right now for the students who are involved, but not something that many students outside of our movement want to come to. That's in large part because we only invest about $5 into our weekly meeting, and we're trying to reach tens of thousands of students. So, if we can increase our budget for the weekly meetings and pour a meaningful amount of money into that, we can be more creative and think through ways to engage people that aren't quite sold on Christianity yet. I hope it's clear to you after the stories you've heard and the vision of our future in ministry that God is still just as active, if not more active, in his quest to advance his kingdom in our area. And I hope you see that with God, the future is bright. He is leading us into a new frontier of ministry as we find ways to reach more students with the gospel.
It's so exciting to know that in spite of all the uncertainty in our lives, God has not changed. He still has an unwavering heart to reach every people group, every campus, every person in the world. John mentioned that there are a few ways you can join us as we push forward in Crew's mission of Win, Build, Send. The first of those ways is to pray. Without God moving, it doesn't matter how strategic or well-funded our plans are. Remember Proverbs 19:21? Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. If you've provided us with an email, you'll be receiving updates on how to pray for the ministry in our area. Again, this is the most crucial way that you can help. The second way is to give a financial gift. Let me quickly recap the needs you just heard that must be met for us to advance the gospel through 202 Crew. In the area of empowering ethnic minority students, scholarships to contextualized conferences, and an incentive for 3 students to intern with 202 Crew presents a need of $22,000. As we work to leverage the power of digital ministry, 50 Zoom Pro accounts presents a need of $2,000 for the next year. Buying 500 books and other training resources for students who are away from campus adds another $7,000 onto our total. And finally, we feel a need to increase students' awareness and perception of Crew's presence, both on campus and on social media. We would like to invest $5,000 in our online marketing, our website, and social media giveaways. In addition to that, we'd love to be able to give our student leaders $100 for each weekly meeting to make Crew a place where a broader spectrum of students feel at home. Across all of our movements, this presents a need of $9,000. All of this is on top of the cost of our regular operations, which includes things like putting on our annual fall retreat, outreaches, and much more. All of these things together present a total need of $65,000 for the next year of ministry.
Now, obviously, I know that there's a possibility some of you watching could have considered giving a gift 6 months ago that's no longer an option for you, whether that be because you are one of the millions who has lost your job, incurred extra expenses, or lost investments during this pandemic. Let me reassure you, we understand if that's you, and we want to provide an alternative opportunity for you to grow in your generosity without giving a gift immediately. The third way you can partner with us today is by opting to go through a Journey of Generosity, or JOG. A JOG is a 5-hour-long course where you and others in your group can explore the concept of being generous with what God has given you. This program isn't connected to Crew. It is actually created and facilitated by a nonprofit called Generous Giving. A core part of Generous Giving's ministry model is that they will never solicit a gift from you. The course is completely free, and if you choose to partner with us by going through the Journey of Generosity, you will be grouped together with others who are watching this call. One last thing I wanted to mention before I explain how you can give a gift today. I know that many of you watching right now financially support a Crew staff member. If that's true, I hope you know that any gift given now would be in addition to your current giving. Please do not redirect any giving away from a staff member. They are our greatest resource. As a matter of fact, I'd ask you to consider increasing your support to them before you give a gift to 202 Crew as a whole. For those of you who will consider giving a gift today, I'm excited to share with you that we have a matching fund available for all gifts of $1,500 or more. In other words, if you give $1,000, it's only going to count as $1,000. But if you can give a gift of $1,500, a partner will match your gift up to a total of $15,000, making your gift count for $3,000. As I explained earlier, there's a present need of $65,000 for the 202 Crew team, and much, much more when you factor in all other teams in our part of the country. All gifts today will go to the 202 Crew team by default, but you always have the option of sending your gift to a specific team or staff member. Let me explain how you might give. In a moment, you'll be given a link that will take you to this commitment form. Whether you are able to give a gift right now or not, we'd like everyone watching to fill out this form. There are many of you watching and commenting, which is a huge encouragement, but filling out this form helps us to know who exactly tuned in to watch. The first section you'll see is for everyone to fill out. All you need to do is quickly let us know your name, phone number, and email address. Then you can let us know which of those 3 opportunities to partner with us you'd like to commit to. We hope it's all 3.
On the second page, you'll let us know what you're planning on giving. You'll see that you immediately have 4 choices of giving, 2 for a gift made right now and 2 for a future commitment. Then you'll find 4 more questions corresponding to the 4 options for giving. So for instance, maybe you choose that you want to give a larger gift immediately and then commit to a smaller monthly gift in the long term. You simply check off boxes 1 and 2. Then you need to let us know how much you plan to give in the next set of questions. So maybe you plan to give $750 tonight and a monthly commitment of $50.
There are also options to let us know what you hope to give either in the next 90 days or the next year. As a reminder, if you'd like to go through the JOG course, we would appreciate it if you still choose to fill out one of these slots. If that's you, maybe you aren't able to check off one of the first 2 boxes for gifts right now, but you want to give a gift in a few months when you're in a better spot and after you've gone through the journey of generosity. You could click box 3 and let us know that you're hoping to give $1,000 in that time. Anything written in those 2 boxes for future gifts isn't binding. It just helps us know how and when to follow up with you.
Finally, you have the opportunity to write notes or comments. This is where you can let us know of any other pertinent details, including if there is a specific way you'd like your gift to be used or a staff member you'd like it to go to. Once you hit submit, a link will show up on the screen that will take you to Crew's secure online giving site. All you need to do is click Give a Gift and then add your gift to your cart. If you plan on giving multiple gifts, you'll need to click Give a Gift again to add another gift to your cart. By clicking on your cart in the top right, you can check out to finish your gift. From this point on, you will fill out your payment information much like you would on any other site. Again, I hope you seriously consider partnering with Crew in each of these 3 options. The more partnership we have within the church, the greater Crew's ability to advance the Great Commission. In the description of this live stream, you will find links to the partnership form that I just took you through. It will also be posted in the chat. So right now, I'm going to invite you to pause the video, open that link in a new tab, fill out that partnership form, and set up any gifts. Then you can resume the video and pick up right where you left off. Again, we'd appreciate if everyone filled out the partnership form, whether you plan to partner with us or not, even if you're not watching live.
Thanks again for everyone who joined us for this special update. As we said earlier, Crew cannot do what it does without people like you. I hope this time has been encouraging and enlightening for you. God is still moving. It's so easy to focus on the abnormalities and challenges of the past few months and forget to look beyond, towards the eternal. I hope we've helped you to do just that, to see beyond the virus and to know that God is still working to change lives. That's all for now. If you'd like to hear more stories of God's work, subscribe to our YouTube channel to see what's currently posted and to hear when we post future videos. Thanks, and God bless.